Switch Radio Sport. This is Switch.
Joining Switch Sport Radio today, Stourbridge FC club official Callum Terry. Pal, thanks for talking to us. Start of the new year, and Stourbridge find themselves currently ninth on 11 points. Is this the level that the club are happy with?
I think you'd be a bit naive to say that you'd want to ever be towards the bottom and you'd be happy with that. But I also think we would have been very naive coming straight down from tier three and thinking that we were either going to smash the league and go straight back up or even just compete at the top. With the rebuild that we wanted to look at, with new management coming in, the revolving door of players in women's football that impacted us a lot. I think we are very happy, especially with the progress that's been made the last couple of weeks, the results that have come about, also the performances, even with some of the games that Meg hasn't necessarily picked up the points that she was after. The performances have been there, and speaking to a lot of the players and the staff, everything seems to be going in the right direction. So as we spoke about before, it's a process. The process needs to be worked on. It also needs to be trusted in by players, coaching staff and club officials, club and supporters, because they're the ones that pay their money to come and watch. So we are happy. Obviously, there's still room for improvement, but I know Meg and her staff will always want to improve. So yeah, we are.
Now that the first team do have a lot more stability in personnel and performance, what do you think that they need to do now to push to a mid-table team, to a top-half team?
I think it's just about keep doing what they're doing. Like I mentioned, the last couple of weeks have picked up some valuable points. I think it's just about consistency. And the one thing that I've said to Meg is, and she's done really well to be fair, is stop that revolving door that always happens in women's football. And I know I don't just talk for Stourbridge. Happens all over the park. Players leave for various reasons. But as long as you can hold on to the girls that want to play for you, play for the club, enjoy the environment that's set by you, then just continue to develop people and players, and the rest will happen. And that's what's starting to happen now. So it's not to change too much. Don't rock the boat. Things are happening, going in the right directions. Just stay happy, enjoy the environment, and enjoy the time.
Certainly agree. I think it's been noted that stability is there and not many players are wishing to leave the club, which is fantastic when you look at where we were, particularly 12 months ago. Meg Bailey's first season in charge of Stourbridge is this season of the first team. She's certainly taking full advantage of this opportunity, isn't she?
Yeah, so I think she's definitely taken it full on. Obviously, when she first came in, there was a bit of scepticism with it being her first managerial job. Had a bit of coaching experience with Kiddy and Fish, which I think is a great environment for her to learn from initially. She's played in it for years. I think her coming into such a project like this was definitely the right time for her. And it's been tough for her at times because I feel like she's had to lean on people, and knowing Meg and the way that she works, I think she wants to try and do everything herself so that she can reap the awards with her coaching staff and players. But actually, she's learning so quickly that she's got so much expertise around her with her coaching staff and players with their ideas, but also club officials that have been in the game. She's leaning on people outside the club. So I think those walls are breaking down. I know she probably won't mind me saying, but that stubbornness, and she's actually reaping the rewards for it. She's taken on the advice and guidance from others and approaching it in different ways. She's talking to the right people and she's implementing that in her training sessions. She's implementing that with her communication with players and staff. And then it shows in her games, picking up a couple of points here and there, and performances are getting stronger. And she's starting to establish who she is as a coach. And I think that's really important for her and her coaching journey, whether that be at Stourbridge in 20 years' time or whether that's somewhere else. I've always said that as long as you can shape your identity as a coach and be open to new ideas and have the right conversations with the right people who can support you and guide you, then there's endless chances and opportunities for you. It's just about her being consistent and sticking with the project and understanding the limits of what she's at, but also pushing a little bit back once she knows that something's not right, and she's doing that perfectly. So it's just about her consistently keep doing that.
Meg Bailey is also in charge of the under-18s. So even though the workload is more, do you feel that that's helped her with bringing through some of the younger talent within the club?
100% her knowing her under 18s. It's helped hugely in terms of we don't need somebody external to tell somebody else that this player is good enough or this player's got this attribute that might suit your team or I think it's a case of she knows her players. She knows where these players can best fit, or where they can give opportunities or minutes here, minutes there, or whether they come to training, etc. I think it's a nice addition to her workload. Yes, it was a struggle at the start. Yes, we were a little bit concerned with her workload, but again, she's learned, she's spoke to people, she's understood that yes, it is a heavy workload plus her full-time job, which I know is stressful at times. She's managing it really well, and she understands that that's a process. She also understands it's a process for the under-18s girls, as we all know. Don't rush development. Keep breeding them with those opportunities of getting a few minutes or being around the first team, even if it's just from a social aspect. It's those little nuggets that she's starting to pick up on that will progress these girls in the right way, in the right environment, with the right people. And I think she's the best person to do it, which just ties it in really well. So again, it's just about her being patient with those under 18s, and she's doing exactly that.
Erin Griffiths, Demi Phillips, and Darcy Cartwright are the three first team players who stayed at the end of last season, from last season into this season. How would you describe what those three players mean to Stourbridge?
I think women's football's, again, I think I spoke to you about it before. It's a really delicate time for it. And obviously, I take us back to quite a few years ago when the Andy Fisher era is when we had a collective that would stick around. The revolving door wasn't there. Maybe the one or two players did come in and out, which is natural. But I think this revolving door, it hasn't helped a lot of teams. And I think when you have got the 3, 4 players that do stick around, it shows the club, it shows supporters, and it shows everybody else that there is some sort of loyalty and something there to hold on to. It's not a case of, well, actually, it's not. It's as bad as everyone thinks it is. You know, you've got 10, 12 players walking, or there's this rumour or that rumour. You've got players that understand the core value of the club, the core value of what they're trying to achieve. And yes, it may not be to promote every single season, to win trophies every single season. Yes, it's lovely, but these players are very important as people more than players, because they bring that loyalty, they bring that enthusiasm of, let's play for the badge, let's play for Meg. There is obviously something from a player's point of view on the outside. There's got to be something there for these players to stick around to, and they're very, very good players. And I know I spoke to Demi a few times, and obviously she's had a career where it's been up and down. She doesn't know where she's fitted. She started late in terms of her career, and she's absolutely excelled, and she loves the club and she loves the people around. And Erin's the same. Darcy's stuck with it as well in the difficult times and the good times. So it's those three players are instrumental as people more than players. Obviously, they offer so much on the pitch, but in terms of long-term aims and ambitions of the club, those three have got to be at the forefront of decisions, because they show the characteristics of loyalty that we want in the team. So I think they're a good pull for the club, but they're great people to have around more so.
And as for Baylo's recruitment, how would you break down the type of player or type of person she looks to bring into Stourbridge?
I think when talking to Meg, I think it's changed a little bit and it's adapted just in terms of the way she's approached games from when she first started. Now, I think if you'd asked me at the start of the season, it was young, ratty, willing to get up the pitch and press hard, somebody who's going to listen and be prepared to learn and to be pushed hard. I think now there's got a bit from her recruitment strategy, it's a bit of a balance. She's got a balance of young, exciting players, but she's also bringing in that little bit of experience and a little bit of strength and diversity, because without that, I think these young players will probably get lost a little bit. So I think she's balanced it really well. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's the final article, and I think she knows that, but I also think she understands that, again, it's a process and she's got to give herself time, but she's balancing things really, really well. And her recruitment is that balance between young and exciting and strong and diverse.
Rugby Borough up next in the County Cup this Sunday. Tough opposition, aren't they?
Yeah, they are a very, very good outfit. And I think, especially when I've been to meetings and conferences with the guys at the top at rugby, they're absolutely tremendous people. And the infrastructure that they've got is something to strive towards. We've asked them so many questions about their infrastructure, where it was to where it is now, how have they done things in their demographics. They're just incredible people first. And then when it comes to the football, I think they've got it spot on in terms of their recruitment. I don't think they've ever blown anyone away in terms of going up the league and trying to smash some of the bigger teams. but they've actually been so consistent over the seasons that, we're looking at them to replicate certain aspects of their infrastructure and their structure within on the pitch. But in terms of their recruitment, we're looking at loaning players from them because they've got such strength, not just their starting 11. So I think it'll be a very, very tough game. But I think if Meg gets ahead where I know she can get it, I think we can cause a few issues and make it hard for them. And I don't think she's going to go in all guns blazing. I think we'll cause a few issues. We've just got to be ready for it.
And would that be the ideal season for Stourbridge this season, Cal? Stability in Tier 4 and then an exciting cup run as well?
Yeah, 100%. I think this first season was always going to be difficult, no matter how we started, no matter how we did in the middle, how we finished off. I think it was always going to be difficult on and off the pitch, obviously, with issues with the ground. So I think it's a case of let's stabilise ourselves in Tier 4, see where we're at in terms of a club, because obviously things can change at a heartbeat, and then go from there. And if we're sticking around in Tier 4, which I think we will be, because I think from performances and results that are happening now, I'm very positive that we can stick in the league. I think it's just a case of taking ground a little bit and just seeing where we're at the end of the season, have a good cup run, see where players are at towards the middle, towards the end of the season, and then going from there. Let's not run before we can walk. We're still developing, we're still learning as a club now and as staff. Meg's learning. Let's give her the tools, whether that is in Tier 4, Tier 3, or Tier 5, it doesn't matter. Let's give ourselves the best possible chance at sustaining ourselves on and off the pitch, and let's give the right people the right tools to do so.
And talking about stability in Tier 4, the next league game will go a long way to achieve that versus a team that's one position below them in Kidderminster Harriers. Talk to us about the history behind this fixture and what it means to you and the club.
Yeah, obviously I've got a lot of love for Andy Fisher and Harry O'Neill and everyone else that was at Stourbridge years ago. But I think what's been built up between Stourbridge and Kidderminster, especially this season, is there's a lot of players and a lot of staff that have got a lot of love for both teams and both clubs. There's going to be natural rivalry because of the relationship between the amount of players and staff. Andy Fisher being right up there, that he took Stourbridge to some of the glory days, the best ever days that the club has ever seen. So there is always going to be that natural tension between the two clubs. But even when Aid was in charge of Stourbridge and we played at Agbra, it was an amazing opportunity for both clubs. And I think that's what we've got to thrive off between the two clubs, is work together. We're both in very similar positions, probably at different stages, but we're in similar positions where we're trying to learn our way and navigate our way through Tier 4 to see where we're at. Andy's recruiting players, Meg's recruiting players. So I think the relationship has got to be strong on and off the pitch, and let the football do the talking on the pitch. Let's work together to see where we both end, because rivalry's great, but let's not make it hinder both of our off-pitch situations, and let's not become complete enemies. Let's have some similarities and enjoy positions together.
Any discussions of this game having a different venue or a different date to maybe attract a wider audience?
Not at the minute. I've had no conversations with management, with Andy or Kidderminster itself. So nothing as it stands. I know exactly what Andy will want, and I know exactly what women's football will want in terms of trying to get the biggest crowds, trying to get the biggest opportunity of venue, etc. But as we all know, there's different things in the way. A lot of things that people can't help and that is out of people's controls. Let's just see where we end up. I know conversations will definitely be had at Kiddy's way. Personally, I've heard nothing at the moment.
What do you think we will see from Stourbridge now for the remainder of this season?
Enjoyment, a lot of passion, a lot of desire. I think they've got the teeth stuck into the league now. I think they've seen opportunities and instances where they can get points, they can get results. They know what teams to go up against, teams to probably just be conserved a little bit. They're starting to play everybody now, so they understand where they need to hit. Meg's starting to understand her players in terms of what games to fit them in most. So I think a little bit of consistency, a lot more structure, a lot of passion and heart. It's not over. It's never over. And the last couple of weeks is proof of that. We were bottom of the league for a bit at the start of the season, and it looked like a gloomy season, but she's recruited well. She's picked up a lot of results recently, a lot of good performances, just a lot of heart, desire, and a lot more structure, which will go a long way on the pitch.
Thank you, Cal. And finally, a statement came out last month about the progressive plans for the War Memorial Ground. For anyone who missed that announcement, where are we now regarding the lease and the development of the stadium?
The latest I heard was exactly the same as what people heard or read in that programme, and that announcement was still stuck on the lease. The chairman and the directors are still working hard with the Dudley Council to try and get this lease sorted. I think there's a bit of discrepancies with the rent valuation that they're trying to charge the club. I don't know in terms of what more conversations have been had, whether there has been any, because I know the chairman's been away and had a well-deserved break over the Christmas period. I haven't heard anything since, but fingers crossed things can get resolved, and I've got every bit inch of hope and faith in the chairman and the directors that something will get sorted soon and we can start looking forward.
Switch Radio Sport. This is Switch.